morning. Happy Sunday. It is Sunday, May 19th already. It's been a beautiful weekend so far here in Wisconsin. And today we have the Wildflower Designs Stamp-a-Stack, or I believe the suite is called Wildling Flowering. And we're going to do a Stamp-a-Stack with that. So we're going to make 16 cards today. 4 different designs, so we're going to make 4 of each.
It's working.
And we got a new setup here, so I'm trying to figure that out and learn things, and Christine's really doing it, and I'm just going with the flow here. So when you pop on, say hi, tell me where you're coming from, what you're up to, all of those good things. Let's see, what do we have that's coming up? We have Monday, tomorrow. Tomorrow only is free shipping. I believe it's with a $75.
Tomorrow, Gina.
Isn't it tomorrow? Oh, Tuesday, the 21st. Sorry. Tuesday, the 21st is free shipping. Good thing Chris was here to correct me. I would have told you guys wrong. In my head, I had Monday, but it's really Tuesday. So Tuesday is your day to get your orders in. And we also have the join Stampin' Up. Join our family. Join my team. You join my team. You join Christine's team. There is... you get $125 worth of product for $99, and you also get free in color paper, markers, ink pads, and DSP. So it's a really great value and a really good time to get the things you've been looking for. And I'm just making sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do here and looking for the chat here. So like I said, if you come on, say hi. Things are a little bit different, so my cameras, I'm having to look in different places for different things, so we're just trying to get used to that. So here we are. It's a beautiful morning, and I have some beautiful cards for you guys today. The suite here, Wildly Flowering Suite, is this DSP here. It's so pretty. We've got flowers. Let me see if I can pull out. I'll pull out all the sheets here. And we don't use all of them, but you could at home. So we have this piece here, and then it's got a nice neutral, almost linen burlappy look to it. Then we have this, a wild wheat. Now I will say wild wheat was not one of my favorite colors when I saw it come out, but this set has really made me warm up to it. I do like the color combination here, a little moody mauve. We have mossy meadow, espresso, white. So those are pretty much the colors in this set. And Misty Moonlight. So nice little dandelion. And we have just little flowers with some big flowers on the other side. So really pretty set here. So we're going to make 16 cards. So in this class will be available until June 1st to order. So this class comes with the DSP. You're going to get a full pack, and this is missing one. I left it at home, I think. It has Pebbled Path 2. This is the in color jute. That is going to come with it. And you're also going to get the adhesive back textured dots. So they're cute little metallic-y, I would say brass looking dots. So all of this is going to come with your kit. So you're going to get a full pack of paper, plus you're going to get all of the cardstock and pieces and things like that that go with to complete your cards. So the only thing that you will need is a stamp set. Now whether you have this stamp set or you have another stamp set you want to use, basically you're going to need sentiments. That's the main thing that you're going to need. There are these pieces here, and I do incorporate them in some of the stamping, but you don't need to use them in order to make these cards. And this set comes with these beautiful labels. These labels are so pretty. There's so many things, and I'm going to show you a lot of the possibilities with these. So this piece here, actually, I'm going to grab my card because I don't have, oh, here we go. This piece here cuts out this right here. So, and you have a nice stitched border that goes on both sides of it. And then out of the middle comes this piece, and it's stitched along the edge. So this piece comes in here. So when you cut this out, you get both pieces. So there's a lot of use for these labels. So you could use this, or you could use this, or you could nestle inside. You could put a different color. You could put a white piece in here. Lots of possibilities. Then we have this one. This one cuts out this beautiful outline, and it also cuts out this piece here. And these can nestle on the inside like this, or you can use them each separately. Now this one doesn't have any stitching on it, it's separate. And then you could also, or I should say, here we go. Here's the final piece, is this piece here. And it has a nice stitched border again. But all of these pieces can be nestled inside of each other. So you can do something like this. We can do something like this. All sorts of possibilities. You can also make frames. So the inside, so if you take this piece and this piece, and you were to use the dies, so you're going to use, so if you already got this out of the middle here, you have this extra piece, and you've got this one. So you can cut it like this, and you'll get a piece like this. So there are lots of possibilities with this set. These labels are beautiful. So if you don't love the stamp set, I recommend just getting the dies, because the dies are so pretty all on their own. So that's a peek at those. Okay, these are like my extra pieces here. So you get a lot of bang for your buck just with these. You wouldn't think 3 dies, but you have so many possibilities. So like I said, this is the Wildflower Designs. And I'm also using the embossing folder that comes with it, and I can't for the life of me remember what it is, but I feel like when you emboss it, it gives a little bit of a patchwork look to it. So that, all of this right here, so the paper, the jute, and the gems come with this, and then you'll get all the cardstock pieces, and the labels will be cut out and everything for you, okay? So let's get started. I'm not going to necessarily make all 16 cards today, but we're going to make most of them. So, and I will show you how to cut your paper to do this. So our first card, I actually cased right from the catalog, and that's this card here. I'm going to move my camera just a little bit so that hopefully you guys can see maybe a little bit better while I'm stamping, and hopefully I stay in the screen. So I actually kind of cased this right from the catalog, added a few extra things, and this one's going to be fairly easy. We're going to take a piece of our espresso, traditional card base, and fold it in half. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in this piece of DSP here. And we're going to use the blue side here. And I'm calling these dandelions. Maybe there's something else, but they have a dandelion feel to them. And I have a piece of wild wheat. The wild wheat piece is 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, and that's going to go on here like this. Now we're going to bring in our cutter. And this piece is going to be 5 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to cut this at 5. Now you always want to make sure that your paper is cut in the direction of your design. So I'm making my long piece here at 5. And then we're going to cut it at 3 3/4. Now you would be making 4 of these. I'm only going to make this one here today on screen. But then you would go through and you'd be able to get 2 more out of this whole piece, okay? So we'll set that aside. We'll set our trimmer aside. Now we're going to bring in our embossing machine. Now you don't have to do this if you don't want to. I will not have this embossed because you'll be cutting your own DSP at home. We're going to bring in the embossing plates. So that's our big plate here and our gray. And I'm going to run the piece of DSP through my embossing folder. And it gives it some really pretty texture to our DSP. And I'll show you later on a different card, and you'll be able to see side by side the difference between all of that. Okay, so here's our piece of DSP, and now we've embossed it. I think it's so pretty. Just adding that little bit of texture to it, and I feel like this piece alone is or I should say this embossing folder gives it a little bit of a quilted look. So I didn't cut my, I think my wild wheat is supposed to be, yes, a little bit smaller. So my wild wheat correction on that is going to be 3 7/8. Oh, did I cut? I might have cut. Yep, one's for the inside. So you're gonna have 2 pieces of wild wheat. One that is your traditional mat, that is 5 1/4 by 4. And then this one's going to be slightly smaller at 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Oh my goodness, you guys. Did I cut my blue wrong? This is what happens on live TV. I don't always cut things right. All right, I was just off a hair on my wild wheat. All right, Now we'll set the cutter aside. So we've got this here. We have our mat, we have our base. Oh, see, I had these extra pieces aside. So here were the correct pieces. Oy vey. All right. So here's our white piece. For the inside of our card, I must not have cut my white pieces correctly, so we're going to just take a little bit off. Make sure they fit okay in the inside of my card. Okay. And what I did to get this piece here, so this is the stitch shaped, and I will have these cut for you in your kits in case you don't have that set. Otherwise, everything else you will, any regular cutting, you will cut yourself. And I just cut out a piece that was the size of this, and then I die cut it. So we have the wheat label, an inside piece that I cut that was white, and our DSP here. So now we can go ahead and start layering everything. I'm actually going to start with stamping the inside of my card. Need a piece of my scratch paper here. And we're going to make this one a thank you card. And I like this little stamp here. So we're going to go with some wild wheat. Actually, I think we're going to use Misty Moonlight because I have wild wheat as a border. I like to kind of do opposite. I shouldn't say that. I don't always do that, but I'm just going to stamp off in the corner like that. I'm going to leave it blank because this is a thank you card. So oftentimes in a thank you card, I just want it blank and then I will fill in. Unless there's a sentiment that specifically says thank you for something specific. Otherwise, I just leave it blank like that. And you could make this whatever type of card you would like. It could be a birthday card. It could be whatever you like. And like I said, it's a beautiful day here in Wisconsin. Yesterday, we spent a lot of time outdoors. I was power washing the house. My husband was digging up dirt to get the garden going. Our first ever real garden. So we'll see how we do, if we do well or not. So there's the inside. And you could use the other side of this DSP too. So this is embossed on both sides. So you can see it just gives that pretty little dimension there. If you're on, don't forget to say hi. Tell me what you've got going on this weekend. Okay, so we have that. I'm going to bring in my wild wheat piece, and I'm actually going to put some Wink of Stella on the outside. And the mini dimensionals work really great on this frame. They're the perfect size for this, or you could use the edges of your dimensional sheets too. Now I also have 2 more classes this week coming up. Tomorrow I have the Morning Create. That one's actually a week earlier than normal because of the holiday. It would normally be next week, Monday, I think it's the 28th or 27th, whatever Memorial Day is, but since it's Memorial Day, we won't be stamping, so I moved that up to this week. And then on Wednesday, we will have our scrapbook layout. And then this just gets nestled in the middle. So I'm going to glue this to the center of our white label. Then we'll add dimensionals. This tucks in really nice. Then I have a little label here. And we're going to stamp thank you in espresso. And I believe this is a 2 3/4 strip by a 1/2 inch. So this is one of those leftover strips when you're cutting your card mats. And I'm just going to place that in the center. Flip this over. And I like to use tear tape for putting my ribbon on. Now there's 5 colors in this jute, all of the in colors. So we don't really use the pebbled path, but you could. It does work okay with some of this paper. Nice neutral color. And we don't use the copper clay, but you could always use that for another project. So we're going to pull in our wild wheat. And if this is too curly for you, sometimes this is being on the spool like this, it kind of curls up on you. All you have to do is just take your scissors lightly and it just softens it and makes it a little bit easier to work with. And I'm just kind of looping it, almost making a bow, but not really. I want it to go angled on that way. And then we'll add a few dimensionals. And I will add another piece of tear tape over the top just because this jute is really thick. And it just helps it stay a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to bring our card in and we're just going to put our label down here in the corner like this. Isn't that pretty? I never would have thought I would like this wild wheat, and it has really grown on me with this. I'm surprised. I really like this color combination. And I like it with the Moody Mauve. Now we're going to finish up with our dots, if I can find them. I feel like every time I'm on camera, I set something aside and it's always right in front of me, but I can never seem to find it. Well, when they reappear, we'll go back and add our dots to it. So you're going to make 4 cards like this, okay? So that's one of our cards. For our next card, it's going to be making some strips. And everything uses this set, except I did bring in this little butterfly. I just felt like I wanted a little extra something. So we are going to have a crumb cake base. We have a Moody Mauve mat. And remember, a great way to save paper is to use your dies out of the center. All right, guys, I haven't been seeing comments, and here you guys are all commenting, so welcome. I had to do it from my phone, and obviously I needed to refresh it. So anyways, good morning. I'm going to go through, and now I got a commercial on here. I don't know. That's new for me too. So good morning, Mary, Sandy, Trish, Caroline, Janelle, Polly. I think I've got all of you on here. So good morning. Welcome, everybody. Caroline, I'll be making a card for my brother-in-law, but right now spring cleaning a room and taking a break to watch. Well, thank you for joining me today. I'm glad I could be your little break away from cleaning. Because, you know, who enjoys cleaning, right? Oh, and Janelle, you're loving my scrapbook pages. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you guys watching and following. And like you said, I'm so thankful that Stampin' Up! Is coming out with more. We're going to have so much more to love and create with. Here's our dots, guys. Ta-da! Okay, so now I'm going to find my piece of DSP. That I started cutting. There we go. So this strip here, this strip is, where are my notes here? 3 5/8. So I cut it at 3 5/8 by 12. And then I'm going to cut strips, and you want to keep these strips together as you cut them. So I'm going to cut 1 1/8. And we're going to cut 4 of them. We're going to cut them right in a row. And this will keep our pattern going on our card if we lay them out the same way that we cut them. So you will need 16 of these strips when you cut. Okay, so this is one long 12-inch strip by 3 5/8. So I was able to get 2 cards out of that whole 12-inch strip. And you have probably about 2 pieces here. Let me think. 1 1/8. So this should be 2 1/4. So you should be able to split this in half again and get 2 more. So essentially you'll use about a sheet and or 2 strips up with a little bit left over, and plus you'll have a half a sheet left. So you have lots of paper to do lots of stuff with. Okay, so we have those strips, and I laid them down in the order that they would go on. Oh my gosh, am I cutting all my paper wrong? I did. So now I gotta cut my strips down. Ay, 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 guys. Maybe my moody piece is, I cannot obviously read a, this is 5. 3 3/4, 1, 2, 3, 3 5/8. Obviously I cut my paper wrong, or I didn't measure things right. So before I cut kits, I'll make sure to remeasure everything, guys. Oh my goodness. All right, so these are 1 1/8. By 3 1/2. I obviously took really bad notes last night. So bear with me, everyone. Okay. Welcome, Margine, all the way from Wyoming. So now we're gonna glue these down. When I glue strips down, I find it easier if I put my two ends down and then lay the middles down. Helps me put it on a little bit more evenly. And Trish, you were working on cleaning, but, oh, you did. You cleaned yesterday. Oh, you were fussy cutting flowers this morning? Oh, God bless you. I am not a fussy cutter. I mean, I do it sometimes, but I don't love it. Well, thank you, Caroline, for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you later in the replay. Okay, there's our 4 pieces. We'll see if I get through this video okay today. All right, here we go. I'm gonna blame it that everything has changed a little bit on going online. So that's why I'm a little not with the program. That or I had too much caffeine this morning and good morning, Barbara. Obviously, my kids don't realize that Mom is not home because my son just texted me, Mom, I need help with my contacts. Okay, so before we put this on, he got contacts about, I would say a month ago, and he's still learning and struggling to get them on. So it's been a learning curve. Now, technically, the color in this jute is boho blue, not Misty Moonlight. Misty Moonlight is the color in that they say coordinates, but I feel that this still coordinates really well with it. So we're using it. And I did a double. I'm doing a double. You don't have to do a double when you make your cards, but I like the look of a double row. Oops. Gotta leave it long enough to go all the way around though. There we go. Okay. Then we will pop up this layer. Good morning, Kenzie, all the way from Canada. So we'll adhere this to our card base. Now we're going to bring in our labels. So I cut 2 of the stitched labels out, and I'm going to take this label and cut it in half. Okay, so we cut that one in half, and what we're going to do is layer it like so. But first, we're going to do a little stamping. We're going to put a little happy birthday on here. In our Misty Moonlight. Welcome, Debbie. Not far, you're just in Milwaukee, so you're nearby. You're only an hour away from us. Then I'm also going to bring in, there is this little dot piece in here. Now, like I said, if you don't have the stamp set at home, that's okay. And I just kind of wanted to fill in a little bit of the white space. So I'm bringing in my basic beige, and it's not a lot of color because I'm stamping it off, but you can see it. It gives a little bit of texture to your label. So I'm just stamping this in a few spots like that on my label. I don't know if you can see just a little bit, but just added a little bit of texture. And I stamped off. Now that we have our label that we split in half, I'm just going to line it up. So we have that. So like I said, these labels, there's so many possibilities that you could do. You could make this a little label too, maybe not as short, and put a little sentiment this way and have, you know, a different type of label out of it. So lots of possibilities with these labels. And I'm going to put my dimensionals on the top and on the bottom of my label, because if you put them in here, they don't lay right because the jute is so thick. Okay. So we'll put that here. I'm going to take our bow maker. And we're going to make a bow. How many of you use a bow maker? Actually, I'm going to put a little bit of glue first on my butterfly, and we're going to put him or her in the corner like that. And do you use your bow maker? That is the question of the day. So when you use your bow maker, you're just putting it around the nails like so. We're going to cross them over like this. And the one that is underneath here, not the one on top, this is the one on top, but the one on the bottom, we're going to take and bring that over the center, under and around. And then we're gonna just tie it right here. Now, sometimes when your ribbon gets tied, your tails, I don't pull it tight until I see which direction my tails are going. This way, my tails were fine, so I didn't have to worry about it. Pull it tight, and that is all you have to do. I have a hot mess. My glue dots came kind of unwound from the packaging, so I got like a glue dot mess over here. It's crazy. Look at this. Oh. So I have a hot mess going on. All right, so now we have a piece of our Modi Mauve, and we have a piece of our white, and we've got Happy Birthday, and I am going to put the sentiment in here, wishing you all the happiness in the world. This is from Translucent Florals. And then we'll bring in our Moody Mauve. And put a little dandelion in the bottom. Actually, I'm going to use this one. There's two of them here. And I stamped off. And I just put it in the corner like that. And I'm actually going to do one, I think, up through here too. Oh, Barbara, you have a giant one for making wreaths, but you use a fork, and a fork would be very similar. I've seen it done, but never done that. So very clever and a great way to use what you have at home sometimes. Okay, and we will glue our inside. And we'll bring our little dots in. And put one in the center of our butterfly, one up here, and maybe one there. Oh, and of course, what do we need? A little bit of Stella on our butterfly. And this butterfly is from the Sketched Butterflies bundle. So there we go. Card number 2 done, and you will make 4 of these. So we're making multiples of each design. 4 designs, 4 cards each. Okay. Good morning, Laura. All right. Next card is oh, I love this one. This card here. And this is where you can really see all the different frames kind of at work. So this is each frame, and each frame, the DSP is peeking through each layer. So I really loved this, and like I said, this color combination. Oh, you're watching me on the big TV. Woo woo. Oh goodness. This color combination really has worn on me. So we got some Mossy Meadow. Okay, and we're gonna make 2 of these ones. So I used my mat. Hopefully I've left enough room. But out of our mat, we cut through our die. So this could also be on your card like this, and you could just have your DSP popping through, or this would make a really great shaker card. So there's another idea for you too. Okay, so we have this piece, but first we have to cut a piece of DSP. And let me make sure that I'm measuring things right here before I cut our DSP wrong. Yeah, so 5 1/4 by 4. And we're just gonna bring in our DSP. See which one I used. Right here. So that's this piece here. So it has the pink on the back, or the Moody Mauve, I should say, and it has this on the other side. So why do I feel like I should have a different piece here, but I should have a smaller piece cut already. Right here, here we go. So this piece I cut already. So originally, this was off of your 12 by 12. So we have 5 1/8 already, and then we're gonna cut it at 3 7/8. Who knew cutting could be so hard, guys, right? Okay, make sure that fits my mat okay. And it does. And we're gonna cut another one. So we have this little strip left over. Don't throw it away. You can adhere that to the inside of your card. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue along the edges here. I agree, Laura. Both sides of this paper is beautiful, no matter which side you use. So there we go. We have just a really thin border that goes around our card. And we're going to adhere. We're not going to adhere, guys. But I am going to adhere some twine first. Now you can do this multiple ways. I actually was trying to weave it back and forth on my card. You don't have to do it that way. I just did it that way. I'm actually going to place it underneath this brown piece this time, and we can take a vote and see what we like better. And make sure your flowers are going the direction. I guess I've used this flower here, the dandelion. I'm not sure what flower this is, but the dandelion here, just because that seems to have the most direction. The magnolia looking flowers kind of go all over the page. like so. So you got some going this way, some going that way, and some that almost look like they're upside down. So this is the flower right here that I just kind of used to have direction, but even that one is like upside down. So you don't have to be so careful with how you necessarily cut this one. Now this one, you would. I feel like this one has to be turned this way, and you cut it that way. So always be aware of what direction your paper is going when you are cutting your paper. Well, hello, Miss Diane. How are you? Long time no see. She was busy the other day. What day did I come over? I forget which day I was here, and I was designing some cards with Christine, and the hive was full that day. She had lots of helpers here that day. Diane was here, Judy was here, Rhonda was here. There's all sorts of us here. Some making kits, different things like that, all working in the hive. So it was a full house that day. Okay, so now we can adhere this to our card base. We're all trying to do our part to help our fearless leader here keep things moving. All right. Now we're just gonna layer on our, uh-oh, I'm missing one. And I'm dropping things too. Yes, Diane was working on sorting paper that day. Here we go. I stuck it in here, guys. I'd like to say there's a method to my madness, but I don't know that there is. Oh yeah, they had paper shares going on, and I think Judy was working on like gems and things like that. Yes, it was a busy day here in the hive. Plus, we were working on trying to figure out this video thing. So most of you kind of know Switcher Studio did some type of update, and we're not able to log on and get our videos up the way that we did before. So Christine and I worked for a couple hours going back and forth trying to, and we got on for a little bit. I think we were able to, we did like a 5-minute video, and we didn't know, we had pushed a lot of buttons, you know, did all that kind of stuff. So we weren't sure what we did. So we're like, okay, we figured it out, we got it. And then we went back to try to recreate that video to make sure we had it all down, and well, we didn't. And then I know Christine was working with Switcher Studio a little bit, trying to figure out what was going on, and she's been working with fellow demonstrators. So we've all been just trying to figure this out. Not sure what's going to happen, if it's kind of a process now. So whether we'll stick with this or go with something else, I'm not sure at this point, but there's lots of computers and phones and everything going on to kind of make this work. So we're going with the flow and doing our best here. And Good thing Chris is here to help me navigate all this because I'm definitely a little tech challenged, so all this is really just kind of beyond me, and I can push buttons like no tomorrow, but I can't tell you why I'm doing it sometimes. So I don't know that I'm much help, but I try. Yes, Diane, teamwork makes the dream work, and that is so true. We got some great bees on the team, and couldn't ask for a better group of ladies to be working with and alongside with. So now we're doing our Moody Mauve, and I'm just placing dimensionals on my frame. You could just glue this directly if you would prefer to do that. I know dimensionals sometimes, especially in this case, they're a little tedious, but they do give that card just that little extra something, I believe. Well, I haven't gotten another text from my son, so either he realized mom wasn't home or he's grumpy and mad, and let's hope he got contacts in okay, or he just settled for his glasses. But now that he's got contacts, he's kind of like anti-wearing his glasses sometimes. Wants to wear those contacts. The dimensional backs just want to stick to my hands today. And I just love having that peak of DSP between the frames. I think that's just really, really pretty. Okay, make sure I stamp my sentiment in the correct direction here. Okay, so we're going to bring in that sentiment again that we used before. Wishing you all the happiness in the world today. And we're going to do that in espresso. And stamp it right there in the center. And then we're going to bring in that little dandelion flower again and our Moody Mauve. And we're going to stamp off twice because I want this to be light. So we're going to stamp once, twice, and we're going to stamp right there. Once, twice. Just like that. So we get that really pretty kind of flowers hugging the label here. And then we'll flip our labels over. I almost sent the ruler flying. That's not cool. I could hurt myself on that. And layer that in the center. Laura, you have the first dandelion set. Is that Dandelion Wishes? Is that the one that you're talking about? Or a different one? And with all this being cut for you already, these cards come together really easy. Okay, so we have some espresso for the inside, and we have some white. We're gonna stamp happy birthday. Except I want espresso. But since we have that out, we'll stamp in our corner, and I'm going to stamp off. There we go. Now we'll bring in espresso. And this is from the new, let me check. I almost spoke wrong. Unbound Love. Comes with all sorts of beautiful sentiments. And I love this happy birthday. Welcome, Kathy. Good morning from Ohio. Okay. We're gonna glue these. I'm running low. Christine would say, warm it up between your legs and you can get 20 more cards. I might glue a dimensional back right onto the back of this here because they're everywhere. Okay, adhere to the inside. Okay, we have one more thing to do, and we got to add a bow. Now, I like this ribbon shredded. Also, I shouldn't say shredded, but taken apart a little bit. So all I do for that, this is actually from the Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to undo this just a little bit. Actually, I should find out how much I need about. And sometimes you can just pull it apart once you get it started. Sometimes it gets knotted up just a little bit, but once you start, it usually will pull apart pretty easy. There we go. I feel like it gives it that little bit of a, I don't know, kind of a distressed look to it, and I like that. I feel like this paper is kind of country feeling. The colors feel very country, and So I decided you don't have to do that, but I like that look. So, oh my goodness. Even with the bow maker, I can't make a bow. I did so well the first time, guys. Okay, let's try it again. So Kathy, this bow jig, you can actually order them from Christine. She has someone who makes them for her. And we're gonna actually make this bow smaller just because my two pieces are uneven here, and that's my problem. I believe, like I said, $8 plus shipping. So you can reach out to Christine to get one of those. I forget who makes them for her. There we go. Tying a bow really isn't that hard on these things. You guys saw me do it really easy before. Too many moving parts right now. So I got 3 pieces out of that piece of twine before. So this one I used 2 of the pieces, and this one I'll just use 1. I think the word I was looking for was rustic. That's what I was looking for when describing this kind of country feel to this paper. Okay. And of course, I'm going to go through and I'm going to line my frames a little bit, just because everything's better with a little bit of sparkle, I believe. There we go. Time to add our cute little dots. So, card number 3 done. So you're going to make 4 of these. So here we got 3 of the 4 done. And time for our final card. And this one's a fun fold. A little bit different fold. Diagonal fold. So our card is going to open like this and like this. And you won't believe how easy it is to make this card. I shouldn't say that. I'll screw up and do something on the screen here. All right, so first I'm going to score our card base. We're going to score it at 4 1/4 and at 5 1/2. Pretty simple, right? Okay, now you're going to put your paper in the long way like this. actually going to take my scoring blade out because a little bit longer. Okay, now that I have them lined up, and I missed a little bit here. So if your cutter doesn't go all the way across, you have your line there. You can always just take your scissors just like I did. And finish cutting them. Then you're going to score or burnish your score lines. I just messed that up now. But I had an edge that was sticking. So we're going to fold one this way. And this way. And I took some extra off when I went through and recut it. So it doesn't line up exactly, but that's okay because I can push it and get it in there a little bit better. Okay, so now the hard part was done. Okay, now we're going to take 2 pieces of DSP. And this is where I was talking about you can emboss or not emboss with this, the DSP. So I have 2 cards here. The very first card I did not emboss the DSP. I just left it plain like this, okay? The second card here I embossed the DSP. So it's completely up to you. This is your card, what you want to do. If you want to emboss or if you want to leave it solid. Just curious though, what everyone's thoughts are. What do you like? Do you like it embossed or do you like it plain? That is the question of the day. Okay, so we're going to bring in 2 pieces here of DSP. And we're going to cut them each at 4 1/4 or 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, it looks like we're going for embossed. So 2 of these is going to make 2 cards. So if you cut your piece at 5 1/4 by 12, you'll be able to get 3 pieces across. Okay, so now we have both our pieces. Okay, now I'm going to put them in my cutter. Put my corner up here and my corner down here. And cut. Okay, so that's all we did. So now we have our 4 pieces, okay? Now we will bring in our embossing. And you could have embossed these first, but I like to emboss the 2 sheets together just so that they look more, make sure that they're symmetrical. So I'm laying them out in my embossing folder, like so. So now you know, embossing is not just for cardstock, it's for your DSP also. I better put the scoring thing on before I forget and I lose it on Christine. That would not be very cool. Okay. So now, before we glue our pieces, we got to make sure our triangles, if for some reason, okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to flip this the other way that I have it folded. Okay. So your triangles won't lay right if they're not all cut in the same way. So all you do is if you find that you cut your triangles and they're not fitting, okay, just flip them the other way and they should fit. So there we go. That's all we have to do. So now you have more embossing folders than than stamp sheet things. Oh, that's hilarious. Yes, there is something about embossing. That texture on a page looks so pretty and it adds so much dimension. You know, it keeps everything from looking flat. Okay, so we have that one done. And we'll make sure I folded these right. So now if you notice, if you go back and watch the video, I angled my paper the same way as I angled for cutting my card base. So that makes it easier when you're angling everything in the same direction. So there we go. Okay, now's the easy part. We're gonna do some stamping. So I've got a couple labels here. And I think we're gonna do You've Been on My Mind, and we'll also do a happy birthday. So first, I'm gonna take, we have a bigger dandelion. Like this. And I think I've been doing third strength because my ink pads are pretty juicy, so, and I just want that little bit of color there. I want to make sure you can still see the font through here. So I stamped off twice. And then we'll bring in our Misty Moonlight. Kathy, you're loving the maroon burgundy. Yes, these color combinations rock. Good morning, Cynthia. There we go. So we have those two done. We're also, since we're inking up here, I have Misty Moonlights for the insides. So we're going to stamp our little dandelion here. In the corner, it is not Melon Mambo, it is Moody Mauve is the color. It's almost a dandelion, but it looks kind of like a allium, I believe. Has that ball type and little flowers on the bottom. That's what it kind of reminds me of anyways, the flowers do. So the happy birthday one, I will put our happy birthday saying in, and You've Been on My Mind, I'm going to keep blank so that I can put in whatever sentiment I feel that I need down the road. All right, our stamping is done. Now, as you can see, I took 3 different labels. So we have 3 different labels, and I had some pieces that were extra from other cuts. So we are gonna change these layers up, but feel free to make, the layer combinations however you want, and then we might change our thread based on that. But, here we have the crumb cake layer. I put a layer of the Misty Moonlight, and then we have white. So we're gonna interchange these just a little bit as we go along. Okay, we're gonna do our happy birthday right away. But we'll glue these both in first. All right, so let's bring this in. We will bring this in. We'll do it like this. And then we'll use blue ribbon. This is the happy birthday. I gotta make sure I put the right sentiment in the right card. That would be funny. So when we put these labels on, you're only gonna glue half of it. So I'm only gonna put glue on half of my label. Otherwise you will glue your card shut, and that's not cool. Okay. And I got a little too much glue here. I'll use my eraser in a bit and we'll take that off. And then I'm going to use my Moody Mauve. And that just gets tucked in there like that. And we will bring our tear tape in and put it on the back of our Do I know what page the White Craft ink is on? I do not, Mary. I agree, it's a little hard to find things. I would try, is it with all the inks? Is there a link there with all the inks along with Memento? And I'm going to weave this back and forth. And actually, it's a little too curly, so I'm going to take, you can take your bone folder or your scissors and just kind of, oh my goodness, I got thread sticking to my glued fingers. Soften this a little bit. There we go. So now it won't curl up as easily for me. Okay, and then we'll add our dimensionals. It's not on with the inks. There we go. So we have that one. We have that all inked up. Our ribbon on. This one, I'm going to bring in, I think, a blue label. I just realized my DSP is upside down, you guys. Was anyone yelling that at me? And I'm going to bring in crumb cake. Do something a little bit different. If you can't find something in the catalog, you can always look for it in the online store. Just type in the number, or not the number, type in the description or the item name, and you should be able to find it that way also. We'll put our chair tape on the back again. It's on page 126. So if you are looking for craft ink, it's on page 126. And this one we're going to bring in the Moody Mauve. Twine. And we will center that in the middle. Okay, and all we have to do now is add our little gems. Ooh, I couldn't do that again if I tried, right? The little sticky part didn't go with it. There we go. So you're gonna make 16 cards. I didn't make all 16 today with you, but we did most of them. So let's bring them all in. This is our first card. And we have one that I made. I didn't do the embossing folder. So you have one without and one with. So it's up to you to decide at home when you make these cards which way you would like it. Then we have the different stripes with the DSP, I should say different panels. Oh, the one that I couldn't find the gems for. We'll put those on while I'm remembering it. And if your gems ever come off without the glue dot, all you have to do, this is what's happened to me, is just stick them back on if you, I don't know where that gem went. Anyways, here we go. Stick it back on and then you can grab it. Okay, so there we go. We have that card. And we have this card. So all different ways to use these labels. This gives you a great way to see all these labels, you know, all done in a different way, different directions. Like I said, this kit will be available till June 1st. I'll take orders until June 1st. Then I'll send out kits. Those of you who are already RSVP'd, I will have your kits done and send those out early. The cost is $55 for this class, $10 for shipping. You get the whole pack of DSP, the 5-pack of jute ribbon, and a whole pack of the gems. Let's see, what else do I have for all of you? So that's that class. I will be live again tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We're going to have the monthly morning create class. It's 3 cards, and we're doing manly cards. I figured with Father's Day coming up, and you know, the guys in our life, so we'll have Father's Day, guys' birthdays, different things like that, all themed around the men in our life. And Wednesday, I will be back at 10 o'clock again for the scrapbook layout. And we are using the airplane set. Can't think of the name of it. So I think that's all I have for you guys today. Don't forget, free shipping is on Tuesday, May 21st. Orders of $75 or more. So if you have a smaller order, let me know. I'll combine orders, and so we can take advantage of that free shipping. And don't forget, now's the time to join the team, because Stampin' Up! Is offering additional free products. So with our kit, $125 for $99. Plus you get free business stuff, and you're going to get new in color inks, markers, DSP, and cardstock. So we have all of that coming your way till the end of the month here for the sign up bonus. The 1-day shipping is 1 day only, just Tuesday the 21st. So thank you for joining me as I fumbled through a little bit this morning. I don't know if, like I said, just had too much caffeine, or this whole new videoing kind of threw me off this morning. Plus I cut some DSP wrong and stuff. So thank you for joining me. I hope you all have a wonderful Sunday. It's beautiful here. I'm going to go home